In today's video, come along with me on my little adventure to Ogden, Utah, to see not only the big trains, or the small trains, but to see many cool things with layouts and history throughout the museum, including modeled cars from the 1970s with guns, and visiting the Utah State Capitol with other Salt Lake destinations. Come along with me in this video as I show you my very first time seeing the Union Pacific Big Boy and the 100th anniversary of the railroad. So today's goal was to go up to the Ogden station to see the Union Pacific Big Boy for the 100th anniversary of the railroad. And to get there, I would have to do a 1-hour drive from my house all the way up to Ogden and drive the freeway for a long time. So enjoy this little montage I created of me driving down to Ogden. Now, after watching the long drive throughout Salt Lake City downtown and driving the I-15 all the way up here, we finally made it to the Union Station. Let me take you in for a tour. Once you go in from the main doors, you can go to the right and it takes you to a museum. They have this really awesome vaulted ceiling in the top with cool paintings on the sides of the Golden Spike. If you go to the right, you go to that museum and you have all these displays out with old books and hats. It tells you all the station's history over being 100 years old. It tells you about the Losing Cutoff and all the other routes the Union Pacific would have traveled with the Western Pacific before it merged, with this awesome HO layout, with this cool one replicating Ogden City. And the big trains on the right, if you go from the right to the left on the outside, you can go outside and see a lot of cool trains, including this GP30-2, which is a Union Pacific diesel locomotive, cooling down the cars. If you take a left from looking at that GP40-3 locomotive, you'd go down to more trains that have been retired over the years, including this 833 Union Pacific steam locomotive, with lots of other trains on display, including this Heritage Unit X-26 from the Union Pacific, and then inside the cool railway part of the HO layout, which is a replica version of the outside of the station. There's a lot of cool HO layouts inside the museum, and they also had very cool displays of some HO trains running and some broke down. And if you walk down just a short distance past those trains that are on display and retired, you would find the Union Pacific Big Boy sitting on a siding at the south side of the station. Now in this next clip, I'd like you to hear how beautiful it sounds with its whistle and bell. They didn't move the locomotive, but it still sounded pretty cool. And it wasn't just trains here at this museum. They had some really cool cars that have been restored from the 1940s. Like this 1929 Packard that was really fancy back in the day. Most of these cars in this museum are probably worth a pretty penny, and they probably had a lot of money funded to them to have them beautifully restored. I think this museum with all these cars is a very nice place to bring a lot of fun people. After looking at the old cars, we decided to go look at the guns on the upper level. They had so many different models of guns, and the kind of guns they used in the World Wars. On one of the shelves, they had a very cool Jeep, as you can see there, and all sorts of rifles and glass cases, all throughout the top level of the upper part of the station. They had little tiny billboards on the bottom telling you the history about the gun and what it could do, and how fast it shot, like this 1999 Toggle. Little rifle pistols, any kind of model you could think about was here. After we were done looking at all the trains up at Ogden at the station, we decided to go down to the Utah State Capitol and tour that area. And tour the Union Pacific station that I thought was open, but they had it closed for renovation, so that kinda sucked. I enjoyed my day here in Ogden, getting to see the Big Boy and lots of other fun things here. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button to show me you enjoyed it. Leave a comment telling me your favorite part of the story. And if you want to interact with me on Facebook, I will leave my page credentials in the description of the video. This was surely a fun day, and I hope to do many more fun things just like this, visiting other train places along the way. As always, I'm Jordan Marquez. This is J-Rocks Railroads. Thank you for watching.